Hello, you guys. It's Denise Cooper with Booktube Live. It is January the 27th. 27 days of the new year. I hope you can hear me. I have this speaker plugged up because I've been listening to music all day and I totally forgot until I just saw the blue light. So if you guys can hear me, if you come into the chat room, let me know and I will look for you and we'll see if you can hear me. And John. How are you? How are you? How are you? Anyway, tonight we are going to be talking about, let me see what I actually put on the list to talk about. I am going to be talking about The Cartel. That is my current read, where I read one book a week this year for the Blackout 2018, where I read nothing but or all of African American authors for the year of 2018. And I am going to turn down Johnny Coltrane. And I do not own the rights to this music. No, I do not. I'm getting it right from YouTube. A wonderful channel is allowing me to do this. And so does YouTube. So we're going to actually pause Johnny, as we always do. This is Denise Cooper again. This is the Blackout 2018 year in books. And I think, what am I going to do? I'm going to read all African American authors. Welcome to it. My rules for the Booktube Blackout, or for my self, and I'm so happy that people are joining in and rearrange their shelves, and their TBRs are just growing and growing of all the different recommendations on YouTube and also Instagram and Twitter, and from people asking questions about, you know, what am I reading, what am I going to read this year, and what can I read, and just a lot of questions, and that's really cool. And what I am finding out is I am still combing my shelves and finding things that, oh my goodness, I should have put this on my bookshelf for the Blackout. But that just means that next year, when I'm not going to be on next year, but when I do the American quarter of the year, where I read American books, because I'll be reading overseas and then back to America, and overseas some other country, and then back to America and somewhere else, and so forth, and alternating, then I can get to some of those books that I did not get to complete this year, because I am on a roll with finding so many good authors and books that were not on my shelves. The Cartel is exciting. I'm telling you, I'm just saying, it's grimy, it's gritty, it's real raw. And I learned something tonight about The Cartel. Of course, Dante, my son, he's read a couple of the books. And so, you know, he was telling me a little bit about that and how he wants to get caught up and get in order of reading them. And the thing is, it makes me think about my mother and Donald Goines books. Yes, my mother read Donald Goines. Okay, and I only have one Donald Goines book, and I only picked it up because, you know, I used to see them in my home, living with my mom. Man, I shouldn't have been able to read those books, but I was sneaking and reading them. Thanks, Mommy. Ching. Anyway, welcome to it. This is the Blackout 2018, a year in African American authors, and I am enjoying it. The Cartel that I'm speaking about, I'm having too much fun. It's like, it's hot and heavy. It's violent. It's gritty, grimy, and it's a page turner. And I am going to read the whole darn series, okay? I thought, okay, this is just a book. The reason why I was introduced to The Cartel was not my son. Well, I told my son that the book club, the Book of Night Women book club at the Dock Bookshop here in Fort Worth, Texas, a Black-owned African-American bookstore, okay, where I shop a lot, and will continue to shop this year. And I am enjoying it. I'm so enjoying that bookstore and just the chatting with the owner. And I don't know how many book club meetings I'm going to make, because you guys know I'm a recluse and I pretty much introverted. And sometimes if I don't feel like going anywhere on a Saturday, then I just can't just make myself, I'm trying to. I will try to get out and hopefully make some of the meetings this year. This is a long year. I got something to look forward to. I am already a part of a book club. I can't talk tonight. And my voice is like, I don't know what's going on. I talked too much this week at work, I think, and I wasn't talking today other than I went to go visit my grandkids, my new granddaughter, London Sky, and she's just so gorgeous, and she's getting big already. Like, she's just moving around her head and looking at me. I'm like, girl, you were just born, stop. But yeah, she's just beautiful, and she slept on me like 3 times, like really heavy sleep. Like, this girl was out. And then she would just wake up and look around, and she'd like yawning a million times over. It's just too cute. And I took a book, and I was like, when she falls asleep, I'm going to read. I was just staring at that baby. You cannot read and just not pay attention to this new beautiful bundle. It's beautiful. Anyway, I'm going to look and see if you guys can hear me. So, I'm just drinking water, cold water, no drinking for me. Anyway, and there are 9 people. Hi, you guys. Thank you so much. And please let me know if you can hear me. Actually, I'm going to go to the chat. Can you hear me? Hey, sis. Hello. Good evening. Hello, everyone. So I'm assuming you guys can hear me because I'm just, I'm sure you can see my mouth moving. And so hi, Denise Rader. Hi, Keisha Forsaken. Hi, Angela D. And hi, KT. And everyone is speaking to everyone. So thank you guys for being here. And then the 9 people. So that is 4 of you. The other people, like one of the new people said, and now there's 7. So you guys are dropping off like flies. Well, anyway, if you are lurking in the background, not my words, not my chosen word, I just like that word because someone said that they were just lurking in the background. And I'm going to be talking about The Cartel, and I am not finished with it. And I was reading it actually just sitting here waiting for 9 o'clock, and I was reading the book. So I was like, I can get over 200 pages sitting here reading, and I'm on page 203. So I'll be talking about that a little bit. And I did link below an interview that I just watched today. And it was about Ashley and Jaquavis. And I hope I'm saying his name right because it's really beautiful. But let me go and see. There we go. So this is the book that I'm reading, The Cartel. And the book club that I belong to, this is their choice for last month. And I think they discussed it. They read it in December and discussed it in January. So I am enjoying it. I am again on page 203. There are 396 pages, and I have started writing in my books because of this year. And the first thing on my head was live by the gun, die by the gun, child. Hood stories. And the thing is, when I watched their interview today, on the link below, it's right here on YouTube. And the interview is kind of interrupting them a little bit, but then he stops. And I just think that, how people want to ask their questions, and, and the couple, they're just like cool, calm, and reserved. But when you hear their background, they've got this street background. I mean, they sold drugs, she counted the money, and, they come from the same world, and they were really young when they start writing, and it was kind of like a challenge. I want you to watch the video. I really do, because for those of you who out there, because I do notice that, people will say sometimes they can't find any African American lit that they may like. But this year is not about just me reading one genre, because when you're reading African American authors, there's every genre that they're in. I mean, they're award-winning writers and almost every genre. So there's lots of books out there, and this is just one of the genres and that I am welcoming. And it's not like I haven't read hood lit before, but this is so good because I haven't read anything like this in a really long time. And some of it is very, you think, okay, this is, because of my age too. So you got to give me that. I've been here, done that. Not that I've done anything like this, but I've read that, done that kind of a thing. So, and then you watch movies and it kind of has that same feel. So if anybody has seen the Wesley Snipes, the whole Carter setup. And then, of course, then I learned tonight from their, watching their interview, the Carter made me think about Lil Wayne, and come to find out, Cash Money Publications. And I remember something a while back, and I'm thinking they're just venturing off into everything. This is, way back in the bling bling days, and they were just trying to get out and do all kind of things. And that's who they went with. And they were so young. Gosh, they were teenagers. And they're married. So her husband, at the time when they were younger, he kind of posed this little challenge to her, who could write a better book. And, she's street and and, they trying to win everything. And so, yeah, they have this little writing challenge and then they start writing together and, the rest is history. They got a publishing deal and so forth and so on. But the interview is up on YouTube, and I hope that you guys, if you are interested in this book at all, and when I finish it, I will talk about it. But tonight, I kind of just wanted to let you know what I'm reading, and I should be done with this. I think I can finish this tonight because I am not painting. Like the painting that I did this week, I didn't start it until Friday. You guys, literally, I got home from work and I just started painting. I stayed up until 5:48 a.m. I went to bed, as I know, because I took a shower, got in the bed at 5:48. Woke up at 7 o'clock and was like, forget it. Sleep is just not going to get to me. I'm just not going to enjoy sleep right now. And so I'm sure that's probably why my voice is sounding and feeling like this. But I had to get up and get my art ready today, and we'll be talking about that too. And I hope you guys got to see me drop off my art today at the museum. This is my second time in that particular museum, and it's a landmark, just awesome African American museum here in Fort Worth, Texas. And I cannot wait to opening night, and my art will be gone for 2 months. And if you notice anything different, it's because they're gone. My big babies, my big faced headed babies are gone. But anyway, this is about a crime family called the Carters, and the whole Little Wayne, and his last name is Carter, and the whole Cash Money thing, and he used to rap for them. And so I'm thinking, well, did they call it that because of that name is such a, no, it's such a, I guess, a great name for a hood story. And the Wesley Snipes movie, remember, they were selling drugs out of the Carter, and they took over the Carter, and then the Carter, the Little Wayne, who took over rap, and then the whole thing. And so it's a really cool thing to do because if something is trending, I mean, they're smart, they're intelligent, they're college educated, they are a wise couple writing about something that people are wanting to obviously read about. And so they've sold over 100,000 copies per that interview. I don't know how old that interview was because I didn't pay attention to that tonight. So I'm sure they've done even more because they're on like the 7th book already. So yeah, I think that interview might just be a little dated. And so I'm sure they're up, and sometimes they'll have it on the books, but it's not on here how many have sold. But anyway, I am enjoying this. I'm going to finish this tonight instead of painting. Since I started it late anyway, I'm figuring I'll just end it late. But no doubt I am going to get 52 paintings this year at the end of the year. And I'm still going to make sure that this one comes down for Sunday. Tomorrow I'm taking my daughter Layla and my grandson Levi and Legend to the museum, so I'll get even more inspiration. And I got to go buy some more canvas and a couple of things of paint that some colors that I'm missing. So I'm looking at it right now. If I keep looking over, the camera, because you guys know it's right over there on my wall. So, oh my gosh, it's so exciting being able to do a painting a week and know that I have to at least adhere to some sort of schedule. And like I was trying to get it done last night, and I filled up the canvas with color. So that part is done, but to me it still feels just like the background only. So now I want to go in with the 2 topical colors that will finish it off, which are black and white, my favorite colors. And you would think, why is black and white my favorite colors when I paint with all these dark colors? But they just are. They just calm me in a certain way. They put everything else and like hold it down, like give it balance. And I love balance. I actually need it in my life. So imagine how much I love this cover, The Cartel, all red, black, and white. So anyway, crime family in Miami. It's a good story. It's sexy, saucy. It's very violent, and I can handle that. I can handle that in a book. Yes, I can. In a book. Okay. So let me see what you guys are saying. And if you are saying anything at all, what are you actually reading right now? Are you enjoying the Blackout? Are you enjoying finding new African American authors and going into different genres and, testing out the waters and other than the norm? And even if you read African American all the time and you read African American romance or African American literature like Toni Morrison and the Richard Wrights and James Baldwins and Alice Walkers versus, only reading the Terry McMillans and Erica Jerome Dickeys? Are you venturing out to the Octavia Butlers this year? So what have you read that is different than the norm, possibly, and then possibly recommending them to someone else? So being that I haven't read anything like this in years, I would recommend it, especially after you listen to that interview. If you do not think that you're going to enjoy the violence and the sex and the whatever, the relationships and how they go, and like, oh my gosh, how can you be rooting for these people? They're so bad. But it's a smart way for writers. That's a good sign that a writer is smart and makes you just really want to enjoy the characters no matter what the issue is or what, area that they live in. And to hear their story and to listen to that interview, and they're so smart and, again, college educated. They changed, the whole perception of what someone in the hood selling drugs could actually become. Are they always just going to end up dead or on the corner selling drugs? Are they never going to get anywhere? No, they got somewhere, and many of them do. Okay, many people do, many. So the stereotypical type of behavior or attitude that we latch on to that's just, truthfully, it's just old and it's dated, and it shows your brainwashing mentality has really worked well on you. And so I don't believe the hype. But again, I will read anything. I will read anything because I'm a reader. And if I don't like it, I'm not going to keep reading something I don't like. But I like this book and I want to complete the series. And so I'm really glad that I jumped the gun and got the two audiobooks, The Cartel #2 and #3, so that I can finish reading those and paint. And then I do want to read the physical books, and I think I want the whole series. And another book that they wrote called Blood Diamond or something. And they really, and she even speaks about how they stepped up their game and start putting these, factual situation of the you know, laundering people, and they come, these two people that come over to the United States and, come from the bottom to the top, and they weave the truthful story of how that whole blood diamond industry is, and they put it in the book. And yeah, I like that because she said, it grows up either her reading their fan base, or just, you have to continue to elevate in your writing and the type of literature that they're putting out. They know who's reading their books, and who likes that type of story. But then to move on, because they have so many books, they're going to keep elevating as writers, and they want you along for the ride. And so I really have a great deal of respect for them when they start talking about that, because that's why we as book lovers collect a certain author and have maybe never read anything but one of their books and liked it so much that I want to see this person progress in their writing. Like, we can do that as readers because we're going to judge, we're going to critique, we're going to enjoy and be entertained, but we want to see the writers grow as well. So I was really happy that she spoke about that. Not that I didn't expect it, because if you're writing that many books, you're going to grow. I mean, with anything, you're going to elevate, right? So that's and maybe I'll talk about The Cartel when I'm finished, which I'm sure I will. Also wanted to bring up another African American website, because when I was watching their interview, I started looking up Cash Money Publications. Like, I wanted to know, is it still in existence, and so forth and so on. So I advise you to do the same if you're interested. But what I did come across that when I was looking for them is there's a website called AAMBC, African Americans on the Move Book Club. And if you are not familiar with it, that's what it is. And I'll link it below so that it'll be on the recording, because actually I'm just looking at it right now. And I looked at it a little bit after watching their interview today. So they got a lot of stuff on here. They have literary awards, book of the month. They have summer tours, spring virtual book tours. They have events, lit-ish news, news releases, the Situation Room with Michelle Coutinho, Twitter book parties, book reviews, book trailers, AAMBC radio, Black Voice Spotlight, author submissions, uncategorized little area there, and then they have a place where you can subscribe today. And I clicked on, I think, events. And so I'm going to the event where I'm not going, I'm just saying I'm going to that on the website. And then I see a person's name who contacted me on Twitter, Tamika Newhouse. And so she's like, there's like a video link for her. And September 20th through the 22nd of 2018, there's a real all-suite hotel and casino in the still fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. They are going to have this conference. And I'm like, I can't make it. I wish I could, but maybe one year I'll be able to go. Main instructor, it says, and literary know-it-all. She is called Joy Lynn M. Ross. And when I first read that name, I thought Rockaletta Moss. I'm watching way too much Spike Lee, but I love that show. But anyway, Joy Lynn M. Ross. She's almost 20 years of experience in the literary industry. So if you have not, and if you're aware of that website, then you already know. But I'm going to be looking at this website, and I've saved it to my favorites so that I can make sure that I can go back to it time and time again. So that's another one that I'll be leaking today, because I said I was going to try to find some websites other than just shopping at Barnes and Nobles and thriftbooks.com and things like that, because I'm only shopping African American bookstores this year. And I'll continue to do that because I shop at the Doc Bookshop all the time anyway. So that's that. Let me see what you guys are saying. Hi, 5 people watching. And let me go up. Hi, Kia Danae. And hi, Rebecca. And let me go back up. So, I need to drink some water. I am so drained. Okay, so there we go. Now, okay, she says, yes, we can hear you. Thanks, Denise. Because that's what I was looking for. And Keisha, for a second, you be retracting your own messages. And let me see here. Rebecca says, ooh la la, I love what you said about it so far. Yeah, it's pretty hot. It's pretty hot. There's this, the names are awesome too. Like there's a set of twins in there. Now, the father's name is Carter Diamond. Okay, this is the Diamond family. And the wife, oh my goodness, did I forget the wife's name? Maybe I just don't care. I don't know. But anyway, she doesn't come up that much in this part. I mean, she does. I mean, the mother, dang, I forget the mother's name. But anyway, the kids' names are, the daughter's name is Breeze. Okay, Breeze Diamond. And then the twin boys, who are obviously some handsome young men like their daddy. And their names are Mecca and Morgan. And yeah, Mecca is the loose cannon, the wild child, and the other twin is more laid back and very strategic, more a businessman. And I'm telling you, it's like, don't get hooked on anybody in these stories because they might catch a bullet. I'm telling you, it's good. That's all I'm going to say about that. But it's very exciting. It's very exciting to me because I find myself it's terrible to say. I mean, it's violent, and you find yourself smiling through the book like, whoo! Oh my God, that's so sad. I'm so sorry. Only in the fiction world though, because I don't like that violence in real world. But anyway, so after that, let's see here. I read Rebecca's. Keisha Forsaken says, I haven't read The Cartel. It's on my wish list. The more I hear about it, the more it seems right up my alley. So hopefully I'll buy it and read it this year. Definitely, because I'm really enjoying it. And so, like I said, even though I have the 2 audiobooks, which are right over there, and I think I want the whole series, like I said, but I do want to get the one that they were talking about on the interview because I'm very interested in that. But I want to read the Cartel series first so that I can watch their progression. And Rebecca says, I am old lady and I am surprised how much I am enjoying it. Enjoying what? Are you reading the Cartel? What are you reading? Rebecca, are you reading the Cartel? Rebecca, tell me. Because I just saw that one. That comment. And I'm old too, because hey, look, I'm 52 and I'm reading this and just smiling and go, ooh, oh my gosh, should I be reading this at work? Literally, I was reading this book at work, like, it's so sad. I was at work on my lunch break, okay, my lunch break, hiding, going, I was like, oh, Jesus. Like, I don't know if I have to put this back in my purse or something, but literally, like, I don't know. Somebody would have walked up behind me and was reading the page that I was reading, I could have got fired because they don't play that. But then again, you all up in my business, and it was my lunch break, so no. How about no? Anyway, sorry, Kia Danae says, good evening, everyone. Hi, Kia Danae. Hi, says Kay. And Kay says, I'm reading J. California Cooper right now. I just finished Gabby's book. We're going to need more wine. Oh, was it good? I can't wait to read that one, but I think I have that on there for maybe March or April or something like that. I just know I can see it on my bookshelf, but if I'm keeping up with my TBR like I am now, I'm going to read that like in the order that I'm just happy about. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm doing the blackout and I'm getting things more in order. With doing a painting a week, and that sucker will be done tomorrow, which is the beginning of the week. Which last week I did the same thing, so I was a little behind. I literally just started on this thing Friday, so obviously I'm way behind. And I've done a painting in a day, but last night I just kept playing music and I couldn't record with the music I was playing because, on the other channel I upload the videos of my painting progress, and I didn't get to do that a lot because I refused to keep stopping and setting up the camera to whatever. And I just, from now on, I'm just going to do it when I'm feeling it. And I did make about 3 videos. I hope I uploaded some of them. And that's another thing. Like, I'll tape the video of me painting, so to keep track of the progress so that I can prove that, yes, I'm doing a painting a week or at least a week and a day or two, what have you. And then I start painting and then I don't upload the video because I want to keep painting. The brushes are wet. I mean, so it's a lot to keep up with, but at the same token, I like it because it gives me something to move, so I can move on to the next one and the next one and the next one, and then I'll have these 52 paintings. I'm very excited about that. And because books, read hundreds of books in a year, but this is just different. It's different. And I'm locking my hair at the same time, and I want to lose 52 pounds. Okay, hunking outside on a Saturday night. Anyway, so I am going to be talking about Essence and the books that are in Essence. Remember, we talked about the book page, I think, last Sunday. And there was only 3 recommendations that I could use for the blackout for this year. So, yeah, that's not a lot. When you're talking about a whole complete book page, every single page are books upon books upon books, and there were only 3. And actually there were only 2 because one of them was Canadian. And so basically 2 African American book recommendations that I could read for this year. And it was just 1 month in January, but still you're talking about a magazine full of books. Okay, so there is a difference there. And let me keep reading. Yeah, which J. California Cooper book are you reading? Because I really enjoyed the one I read at the beginning of the year. And next year I won't be beginning with J. California Cooper because I'm going to start with Africa, the continent, and reading anybody from any country in Africa. So, and I already know which books I'm going to be reading or sectioning them out. And they're actually right behind me. Mr. Rian Milan, who's a South African, and I cannot wait to read his books again. So, and my J.M. Coetzee, like, one of my favorites. So I kind of already know. So I won't be starting next year with J. California Cooper like I have in the last 3 years. So, but I will be reading her next year, most definitely. And Keisha Forsaken says, I feel the same way whenever I'm reading something where the main character is on the wrong side of the law, and I just love them so much. And the whole time I'm like, don't get caught, be smart, right? Exactly. Like you be rooting for them, like, hide them drugs. No, son, no, put the gun away. You're gonna get caught. that's I don't know, it's fun. It's like actually watching a movie and you're rooting for the bad guy because the bad guy has all these different levels and you have some sort of compassion because we are none of us are perfect. And, you know, I don't want somebody to watch this one video and go, she didn't say everything about Ashley and Jaquavis, and she just didn't do this. And she should have been done with that book. She said she was going to read a book a week. Tomorrow is the start of the next week. She should have been done with that book before 9 o'clock hit, you know. And so people will judge you on just that one story that, like Chimamanda was saying. And so one thing that I like about reading stuff like that, when you're rooting for the bad guys and you're like happy when they're having their happy moments, like when they fall in love and when they want to take care of this person, and they kind of want to remove them, they do want to remove themselves from that bad element. And if we could just do this right, and you know, if things were just different and we didn't have to hustle this hard or what have you. And yes, you can choose to do that or choose not to. And again, that's why I really enjoyed watching that interview with this couple, because they made a conscious decision to do something different, but still get their money. And now, what is their big thing? Their business is books. So, how cool is that? Okay, so rooting for the you know, the illegal law unabiding citizens there's a win. There's a win. There's a win in this couple. There's a win there, and I love that. And now that I'm going now, even though, okay, I got up to, you know, 200 and something pages, 202, 203 pages without knowing who they were. Now that I know who they are, it makes the book even better and smarter. I'm so here for them. I am. I'm just drinking water. I'm not drunk, but I am so here for it. So I agree, Keisha. Kudos to us reading that stuff and rooting for the bad guys, because there's always a compassionate side of any human being. Well, then there's that Hitler boy. He was a good artist, Erykah Badu says. I'm going to talk about that because I ain't got time for that. That's way too much of a conversation. Anyway, Rebecca is smiling at Keisha. Yeah, in agreement. Yes, definitely. I've been rereading, and this is Keisha Forsaken. I've been rereading fan fiction, but I'm slowing down and should be ready to start reading actual books next month. And she's laughing. Where have you been reading, or what have you been reading, Keisha? Fan fiction. Like, what is that? Like, there's a question mark behind Rebecca's statement. And she says, hello, Rebecca. Thanks for the info, says KT. I just bookmarked the website. Exactly. And there's a lot of stuff on there. And I'll be visiting that a lot because I'm going to go to their Twitter parties probably just to see, or their Twitter page basically, to see what's going on there and how they run that. So, oops, I just exited out of the chat room. There we go. Back in there. She says, Rebecca says, yes, I am reading The Cartel. Yay, buddy, read with Rebecca. Hi, Becca. No. Anyway, me and Rebecca are reading The Cartel at the same time. I'm enjoying it. So I hope that I know that because it's a series, that's the only thing that I'm having an issue with, Rebecca, because I know there's 7 books, right? So I'm like, oh, I'm really enjoying this, but I know some cliffhanger is coming, and I'm just going to have to put in, as soon as I finish this one, I am going to have to listen to Cartel number 2. On audio that I have sitting over there waiting. And the third one, I'm sure I'm just going to do them back to back because it's exciting. And then I can paint all night and listen to it. So I think I'm going to finish those quick. This is a quick read, you guys. It's just I have other things, grandkids and stuff. But Keisha Forsaken says, I swear whenever I'm reading steamy books, someone always comes up behind me to see what I'm reading right when everyone starts taking their clothes off. Girl, I'm telling you, I felt so guilty at work. I was like, am I a horny toad? What's going on? Why am I? Because what? I sure didn't stop. I sure didn't stop the reading. No, I didn't. Oh, it says load disk space. Okay, so what? I'm not recording anything. Oh, I am. I didn't mean to record this because it already does it. I'm scared to hit stop recording. So if I lose you guys, just know it was nice, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. But anyway, yeah, I need to learn how to get all this stuff off my computer. So I'm going to keep reading, you guys. So if you are just now joining in, there are 6 people, and most of us are in the chat room. This is Saturday and Sunday Booktube Live, where I talk about my current reads. I'm reading a book a week, all African American writers. Am I on schedule with my rules? My rules are to read number one, all African American writers. Number two, an independent writer every single month. That's 12 new independent writers. Even though I have some on my shelf that I'll still be reading. So I may even read a couple of independent writers, but I at least have to read one every single month. And I encourage you to do the same thing, especially if they're in your hometowns. People like next month, I'm reading A.J. Houston, who used to live here in Texas. And he was a poet that would just come to one of my art shows. I say, A.J., I need a poet. And, he would come. And so I'm reading his book next month. And Princess McDowell, who's an amazing poet, and I have her book actually right behind me on my shelf. And I have her CD that actually goes to it. So she did an audio and a book. My son, I have his book and his audio and the video and everything else because he's my baby. But anyway, so independent writers that you may know already, support them and buy their books. They're usually only like $10, sometimes $5, but support them. If they have a CD with them doing their poetry or their novel, support them. And 12, I mean, most of y'all know y'all buy more than 12 books a year. So within that 12, you know, please read the independent. Then my other rule for myself is to read 2 female writers per month. Okay, so those are just the 3 rules. And so I have, because I always start with J. California Cooper, and then I read Gwen Richardson. So I hit the 2 females, and Gwen Richardson was my independent writer. Now I'm reading Ashley and Jaquavis, which is a married couple, so there's another female there. And then I'm reading God's Country next week, and I have that book sitting here. What else did I read? James Baldwin. So even if I didn't read a James Baldwin, I've met all the criteria already. And you guys, I am going on my Goodreads. I'm like, oh my goodness, with this challenge for myself, and painting is letting me get a lot of books under my belt audio wise, because of the fact that I need a story sometimes when I'm reading, most times when I'm painting, rather. Stories and music. So I'm just going to go to my Goodreads, just for example, to show you where I'm at right now, which I need to update, but I didn't. So sorry, I had other stuff to do. But when I looked at it when I was at work this week, I was like, oh my goodness, I think I'm going to surpass, my little 4 or 5 books that I was going to read. Physical books, I'm good. I don't have to. I am counting all the audio books is what I wanted to say. So let me go to my little profile. Oh, I got a friend request. Let me see who it is. Are you here? Are you here? Let me see. And I will be reading more in the chat and talking to everybody. So if you guys are new, I'm talking to my peeps in the chat room, okay? And we just have a good time. Most of us are booktubers, and if you are here and you are not a booktuber making content, then please subscribe to the other booktubers that are in the chat room like we always normally do. So Rebecca, if you are not subscribed to KT or Keisha Forsaken or Denise Rader, please do so. And Musical Toddy and everyone else. Oh, and I do still have the list of booktuber names. As you know, I'm not good about doing that. So I'm adding David. Hi, David. And wow. Okay, so I have a new friend on Goodreads. So basically, let me go to what I was going to do. The reading challenge, Denise. And then I have to hurry up with the essence because unlike the book page, I know I'm going to get more than 2 recommendations from my essence. And it's a beautiful cover. I'm sure you guys, most of you have seen the cover of Essence, and it came with a nice little protective cover this month. Because The Wrinkle in Time, have you guys read that? But the movie's coming out. And so on my Goodreads, I scheduled 52 books, 1 book a week. So I have read 6 books of my 52. And the first one was J. California Cooper. The second one, of course, my audio, The Warmth of Other Suns, second time over. James Baldwin, The Fire Next Time. Remember Me by new writer to me, Cheryl Robinson, which is an independent writer. And also the short stories with L.A. Banks, Tanana Reeve and Brandon Massey, The Ancestors, and The Genesis Files, another independent writer. So this month already, and I'm still reading, I'm reading this one and listening to something, and I'll show you. And then I'll be reading God's Country next week and finishing it before the month end. I know because it's short, and I'm very interested in it. So I've read 6 books, 2 independent writers. Oh my gosh, my brain just went. But anyway, 2 independent writers, 2 audios, and oh no, 3 audios and 3 physical books. I'm doing it up. So I'm in love with this year, and last year was amazing as all get out. But I'm happy where I'm at already. Okay, so let me put down this book, or I'll keep talking about it. And let me show you real quick. Oh, also wanted to show you guys this. And let me see. You're not going to be able to see the whole thing, but because this is Art Books Life, this is the flyer. And no, I didn't send my JPEG pic, so I didn't get to be put on. I'm always late with stuff, submitting my art. And this is the flyer for my art show at the museum. And these are the artists' friends, co-workers, peers. And the first time I was in it, I won 3rd prize on a piece of my art. And it'd be nice to win again, but I never exhibited in a museum to win a prize. That was just icing on the cake. I was like, oh wow, that is so cool. And so this person, this artist here Monday, if you got to see the videos today, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, but I really love their work. And the Martin Luther King is just beautiful. But of course, next month is Black History Month, and so the art will be there all February and March. So my backdrop is going to be different. Not backdrop, my art back there is going to be different. But February 1st to the 28th, and then of course in March. But the public reception, and they always have good food. It's so fun. Anyway, it's February 8th, and that's on a Thursday night, so I won't miss Booktube Live. But it's from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So Angela, if you're still here watching, it would be so nice for you. She lives in Fort Worth. It'd be so nice for you to come out to the artist reception and support me just by being there. It doesn't cost anything. It's a museum, so you get in free. And just view all the art and listen to all the different speeches and the awards. And they have the children's section for the youth award winning, and it's just so cool. And I enjoyed it the last time I was in it, and I know I'm going to enjoy it again. So I'm off to a good start this this year, because last year I was just like either being lazy about it, and whatever reason. But I did paint, but I was just not ready to do another show. I don't know. Something was going on. But anyway, so that's that. I covered that. And then the essence, that was the next thing. And bam, what year is it? I love this thing. That's from the writer Cheryl Robinson, 2018 calendar. Now, this is the essence, and let me cover up my address. But this is just the cover. They got this nice, cool, protective cover with the red wine. And this is the Wrinkle in Time cover with Ava, Oprah, and this beautiful, darling little girl, which I don't know her name, but she's inside. And we're going to the book section because we don't have all night. And so the recommendations, these are nothing new to anyone here on Booktube or people that watch Booktube, because when I go to a magazine, whether it's Essence or the New York Times, and I'm looking at books first online or whatever, this new book or that new book or what's coming out, and pre-order this and pre-order that, and read it before this, all that kind of thing. And I'm thinking, oh, Booktube already has it covered. Why don't y'all catch up to Booktube, because we already know about these books. Have you guys ever felt that way about, being a part of Booktube and always seeing your Booktube friends and, creators update everybody on all the new book hauls, and then you go to a magazine or some recommendation, you go, yeah, we read that like 15 years ago. No, but anyway, sometimes that's how it feels, because we're always got our nose in a book or something, or a list or anything, and now I'm not going to find it because I'm looking for it. But I love their selections always. But when I looked at it, I go, okay, seen that. Okay, seen that one too. But there are a few on here that I've never heard of, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. And I might have to save this till Sunday. Okay, there we go. Thank God. Okay, so, and of course we've seen that one, Tiffany Haddish. The Last Black Unicorn is the first one up, and he calls this one Sisters with Voices. Five of the best books out right now are from these talented Black women by Patrick Henry Bass, and I love his suggestions. And now this new one, um, being that last year I read Swing Time, I didn't think she would have another book out so quick. And that's Zadie Smith, Feel Free. And it says Zadie Smith is a writer's writer. She's also a reader's delight, as she once again reveals in Feel Free. In this tour de force essay compilation, Smith takes us inside her infinitely curious mind with this premise. Writing exists, for me, at the intersection of three precarious elements: language, the world, the self. Zadie Smith. And she's a beautiful woman. If you've never seen a picture of Zadie Smith, she's always got her head wrapped and she's got big, beautiful earrings on, but she's just gorgeous. And so she's on here, and Bone by Yersa Daly Ward and Tyree Jones, which is getting a lot of play, An American Marriage, and Black Ink, which I hadn't heard of, The Power of Prose by Stephanie Stokes Oliver. And they've got a picture of Tyree Jones, which I've never seen a picture of her because I've never looked, but now Essence is giving me that. I'm paying for it, so thank you, Essence. Anyway, and so it's got all these different books on here, and I am loving it. Thank you, Essence, because the only ones I have seen is Tahiri's, and of course Tiffany Haddish. Did not know about Zadie Smith's new essays, and Yersa Daly Ward and Black Ink. So that is 3 out of 2, out of 5 rather, that I had not heard of, and I am freaking happy about that. There you go. Essence for the win and the Rex. And I'm currently listening to my man, Mr. President, Barack Obama. Yes, I have the book. You guys have seen it when we did the tour of my all Black books shelves with all African American writers. Barack Obama, The Audacity of Hope. And the reason why I like it, I talked about this a little bit on Denise on Books. Just basically, he's talking about politics, and I'm rubbing my feet on the wood. Anyway, and it's really good because I'm a nerd like that. Maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend everybody that just loves to read fiction and some nonfiction to pick up this and go, oh, this is just going to be whatever, and exciting and exhilarating. I don't know, but to me it is, because I like that kind of a thing. I like to find out um, the behind scenes of someone's, or what he's actually thinking of that huge Washington view, that huge political field that he's playing in, from the time where he was a senator and got 5 people to talk to thousands of people, and then later on becoming the president, and what he thinks is fair and not fair, and how stern, more stern he is than you would think, because you do see all this humility in him, and he's so beautiful, aesthetically beautiful, and beautiful to the core. Like, outside comes out, I mean, whatever is on his inside comes out completely, and you could tell he's just so touching and loving to his wife and children. And even like him and Biden, they're just like shoulder to shoulder sometimes in all these pictures, and laughing with Hillary and whatever. And then you get to hear him with this, you know, this a different cadence than what you're used to when he was speaking, and his cadence was very slow. This is very matter of fact because he's reading his own book, and he's an amazing speechwriter. I remember when I worked in Tampa at a bank, because I used to work at banks all the time, and so before I moved here, it was no different. I worked for a World Bank, and it was huge, and I'm not going to tell you where, but anyway, one of my managers, he didn't care for Barack Obama running for president, and there was this guy he had heard that was on the political trail, and he said, see, I told you Barack Obama is not original, because he just verbatim did this speech of this guy I listened to years ago. And so I said, I was going to say my manager's name, but anyway, so I said to my manager, I said, did you not know that Barack Obama wrote that speech for that guy? So he had every right to say that speech because he wrote it, and he's an amazing writer. And so someone basically, and it could have been writing that speech for that guy at the time, but I found out about it, and I showed it to him, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." I said, "Of course you didn't. You just spoke, and you just, whatever." So that's what I'm listening to right now, and I'm enjoying it. And it's only 5 CDs, and I only got 2 left. So I'm on 3, which I've listened to twice. Okay, so sue me. This is my next read. This is God's Country. Columbus Moore wanted to buddy read this, and I'm starting this tomorrow because I will be finishing up, yes, The Cartel. So this is my man, Percival Everett, and I will try to get in a lot more Percival Everett's this year because he was my author of the year last year. And I think he's still just going to be my author of the year this year, like I've already said. But I'm starting with God's Country and the month of January. So next month, I don't have him on my list, but I think I'm going to make it because I only have 4 books on my TBR for February. It's kind of crazy. But I do have all these audiobooks that I'll be listening to. And that's that. God's Country by my man, Percival Everett. I love it, and you guys know that I finished up with this last week, and I totally loved Gwen Richardson's book, The Genesis Files, mainly because it was nice, fast-paced thriller, and also I learned something about an actual true tribe in Africa, and I'm also going to be finishing up this one, but this will hang over until February. I just know it because I'm going to finish God's Country before I open up Solemn by Alicia Buchanan. You guys keep seeing that, but I cannot take that back to the library until I'm done. And that's that. That's that. That's me running off at the mouth about books and what I've been reading and stuff. And I'm really enjoying the blackout, the blickety blackout. I'm black on purpose. Thank you very much. Welcome to my world. Okay, I'm gonna see what y'all saying and stop playing around. Okay, so hi 6 people, and I'm going to go back up and hold my water in my hand and drink and read. Okay, that's where I left off. What Gabby told in the book was good, but I felt like she left out a lot. No spoilers. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Maybe she was testing the waters. Let's hope she was testing the waters. And when she actually, maybe she'll write a second book and reveal even more. Because, people like that, especially if she did, she did really well. I watched a little bit of her videos that she would put on Instagram and Twitter about her, tour, her book tour, and to be, one of the, on the New York Times bestseller list and all that stuff. And she was very excited. So if she's leaving things out and she's been so transparent, like right in front of our eyes with everything, I wonder if she's doing that for the sake of writing a second memoir or book. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm hoping, because I really like her. And if she's leaving stuff out, I might have to write her a letter and be like, don't be playing toy with us now. No, ma'am. So anyway, and let me go back up. Keisha. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Keisha for a second says, I've been slacking on the exercise front so bad next month. I'm recommitting to it. Honey child, I am happy even when I get out and walk just a little. And I am counting my stairs when I come up and down them stairs. Yes, I am, because my job, I don't move. I just sit there. And when it's cold, I'm not trying to walk out. And like the few days it has been nice enough to go out. Even yesterday, it was nice enough on my job to walk on my lunch break, and I didn't because I was reading The Cartel, getting all saucy and getting heated and fanning myself and hiding in the corner of my desk. Child, please. I just, some days when you're sitting down on your job and you're reading or just working, then your break comes, I just don't feel like getting up anymore. And it was the end of the week. I just didn't feel like it. So, and it was weird. We had like really nice weather one day, and then the next day it looked like it could have rained. It was weird, and it was cold, and then it was like springtime, and it was cold, and it was spring. I was like, come on, Texas. But as long as we ain't got no snow, I'm good. So, I got to get back to my walking because I really totally loved it. And when I walk on my lunch breaks, the second part of my day is freaking amazing. And even my last like 15 little minute break, and I start reading my book, but I'm so hyper, like I feel good. And like, why don't I want to do that all the time? Why don't I want to feel that great? I don't know. Keisha, just help me. Gosh. Kay says, I'm reading The Matter is Life. We are 54 minutes. Oh, I still got time to talk. I am reading The Matter is Life. Who's that by? Is that the J. California Cooper book that you're reading? So are you going to read them all, Rebecca says? Okay, you answered yes already. Yeah, as far as the Cartel series, because I got the second and the third on audio, and after listening to them, like I love listening to writers talk about their craft, just like I do when I drop off my art. Like I didn't, I was the last one. Oh my gosh, I'm just so bad about it this year. Last year I just didn't do any of it, but usually when I go drop off my art places or have art shows, it's like the best time because those are your peers. These are like-minded individuals. They do the same thing you do. They sit at home and create things, and they have the audacity to just show it at an art show. And we're just talking about art and other artists and shows and how did you do this? Ooh, that's a cool ideal or whatever. And I just love that. And then loving books and then to get to hear the writers talk about it, it's almost like that same feeling that I get at an art show. These are my people, you know what I'm saying? And just like in the, booktube, these are my people. They love books, I love books. Let's talk. So that's what I love about watching their interviews. And like Bernice McFadden, I remember because she does have a channel here on YouTube, and she had her grandparents on, or her grandmother on there, and just family members and stuff. And I watched all of her videos, and I went back. I was like, is she gonna put some more? Because it was just like she's one of my favorite writers. And then to get to see her in her element with her family, and then following her on Instagram where she's at the beach or wherever, or being a professor at a university now. I love that. And then when I read her books, I don't think about all of that. I just know that this is Bernice L. McFadden. I love her books and I enjoy every single one of them. And then when I finish the book is when I start thinking, not that I know this lady, but not I know her even better than I did before if I just was reading the book and never got to see these pictures. The internet is a beautiful thing. And the fact that I'm giving it up next year, something better come out of it that is so freaking fantastic that on January 1st of 2020 that I just blaze in there like, dang it, you guys, this is what I did. This is what I saw. But I'm ready to take that away from me so that I can have that experience. I'm telling you, I love challenges for myself because it's my life and I can do whatever I want. Anyway, so let me see what you guys are saying. J. California Cooper wrote it. All right, Kay says. So that's the J. California book. And I do not have that one, so I might have to get that one. Is it a collection of short stories or is it a novel? Because most of the ones I have are short stories. I think the only one I have that is a novel is Family. And I know I've read about her books before. And I don't know if she's written that many novels. I just don't know. But most of them I read are short stories, except for Family. And congrats for showing in the museum, says Kay. That's great. Thank you. This is the third time, and I'm so happy. Like, the first one was in Jacksonville, Florida, and I was happy to be. I think I told you guys the story how, because I am from Kansas and I went to school with the Brown versus Board of Education, the little picture of the girl. Well, she grew up and had some kids, and I went to school with her kids and my siblings, the Smiths, because she's now Smith. She's Kim Brown Smith. She's that, so there, yeah. So kind of by way related there. Anyway, I went to that museum in Jacksonville, Florida, and the Brown versus Board of Education um, pictures and all this factoids and clippings and everything was on view, and it just filled up the museum of all this wonderful information about Brown versus Board of Education in Topeka, Kansas, where I am born and bred. And then the next, after they take down that show, I was in the next show, and I thought, oh my gosh, that this exhibit from my hometown is here in Florida where I'm living, and we followed each other. That to me, that was just like a special moment, and I'll never forget how I actually cried. It was like, it was amazing feeling to have that. It was just awesome, and and I don't know, it was awesome. And then for this museum, I love this museum. It's so cool, and the people are so nice. Texas people, I'm not, there's ugly people everywhere. Just rude, ugly, nasty, violent people everywhere. I'm just saying, for the most part, Texas has some amazing people here. And even when we first moved here, my son DJ, you know, he's a Florida kid, and he was like, "People are so nice here." I was like, "I know." It reminds me of Kansas, that Midwestern thing. So anyway, yeah, the water's good. So I'm going to put that down right behind you. And I'm sure we're at an hour and the light is still green, so I am good. And, oh, we're 59 minutes and 56 seconds and counting, and we are almost done for the night. I am going to read what Keisha Forsaken is saying. And again, thanks, Kay, because I really appreciate being in the museum and here for the second time, and then one in Jacksonville. So I hope to do it every year. That was my plan the first time I was in it. And, you know, she sends emails and she keeps in touch with us to exhibit. And she will even, like, if she hears about other shows, she actually helps us to learn about other shows that we can exhibit in and gives us all the details on it. So, I mean, like, kudos to her. She's like the best. Like, she's like our own little agent, you know. I just love it. But the worst part about me, and I should get better on, is the business side of it. But when you already have a 40-hour-a-week job and you have to create the art when you get home or any time that you can, assign yourself to it, then to get on the internet and apply for shows, upload pictures, take perfect pictures, put this and put, you know, size everything, and, you know, just the whole work part of it. Yeah, that's like one of my art friends. She's like, "I just want to do this when I retire." And I was like, "Don't wait for retirement. Keep creating and whatever." And she's like, "I don't see how you find time to do it." I understand her more than anything. I really do. But at the same token, if I don't create, I think I would die. So I ain't trying to die right now. Anyway, with all that said, Keisha Forsaken says, "I have this book called The Syndicate by Brick and Storm, which are two authors. I believe one of them is Carl Weber." Ooh, I read a Carl Weber book, and I do have him on my shelf, and I put it out there for the blackout. And I hope I did. And no, I didn't. It's probably right behind me. I'm lying. I can see it. It looks like a yellow color. Anyway, I see books. Anyway, and it follows these 8 kids who were all adopted by this one woman. And when she dies, they learn from their uncle that she ran the syndicate in their city, and that it's up to one of them to run it now. No, not grandma. Stop. Hold on, Keisha. And she says, "I haven't read it, but I thought you might be interested in it. It seems to be at the same genre as The Cartel." Girl. Okay, so the only book I read by Carl Weber was, is it The Preacher's Son? It was so far-fetched that it had me, maybe he was meaning it to be funny, but I'm sorry, I laughed through that whole book. And then, hold on. Then one night, I was cooking dinner or whatever, and I didn't know what I wanted to watch on TV because I like to have, you know, dinner with my TV just like any other American fat butt. So I'm watching, I think I found it on Netflix. I'm sure it was on Netflix. And it said The Preacher's Son. I was like, stop. Is that the one that I read? Yo, when I tell y'all, I laughed through the movie. I was like, this is too much. This is But it was entertaining, but it was just too much. It was too much. But it was good, but it was just too much. I was literally cracking up. I was like, no, she did. It was almost like I'm watching, like if you're a gossiping, nosy person. Keisha, bye. I swear. No, I can't stop laughing. But seriously, it was almost like, you know, those nosy people that be in all everybody's business. That's what watching that movie was like. And also reading that book. I was like, these people are terrible. But it was funny. It may not have meant to be funny, but I was cracking up. And then KT says he writes some good nonsense and foolish. You said that, Kate. I didn't. I meant it in all kindness, but that's what you said. Let me look and see if I got this book behind me. See, y'all gonna make me pull this book out. But hold on. I think I put him in there. I keep hitting that thing. I hope I don't lose it. No, and it is yellow. Oh my God, it's right behind me. Hold on. Make sure y'all can see my butt. I can't reach it. I'm gonna have to move my chair. I'm gonna have to get up. Y'all just have to hold on. Let me get over here and get this book. Ah, almost fell. There's so many books over here. I could pretty much do the blackout from all these books behind me because actually, when I moved these books into my room, this was going to be the blackout bookshelf. Most all those books over there, and so I've had to put some other ones because I took most of them out there. So all these over here are mostly African American books, and so this is the one I have. Up to no good. Woosah, get it together, Denise. But that's what KT said. And this has got the library glue on it because I bought this from a library sale. And I love it when I take them off because they're really beautiful books. I'm so glad that the library does that. I'm going to sit here and take this off of here. Hope I don't tear it up. But it's so pretty when you take off the goo. Ah, I just love hardcover books. Look at that, you guys. Oh. So what y'all got me doing? This is not supposed to be on the script for tonight. This is not supposed to go down this way, but I cannot stop laughing. I'm trying to put something in my hand, so I stop laughing. You know when you get the giddy and the laughs, your hands get weak. So I'm trying to do something with my hands. Okay, there we go. But look at the book, it's pretty. Up to No Good, Carl Weber. See that? Yes, I like those colors. It's a nice palette. Actually, it reminds me of the painting I did when I started with all those yellows and browns. Yeah, I still want to laugh. But anyway, so let me just take this off. Y'all know I love to do that. I just love it. So look at that. Brand new book. And then he's got the First Lady. So you call yourself a man and something on the side. And I think he was there at the National Black Book Festival last year. Don't quote me, but I think he was, and I kind of wish I would have went, but I had some issues, medical issues, and so I didn't go. And there was other issues, but that was the main reason. I ain't gonna be riding up in the road with no issues. So, man, it's a beautiful book now. Look at that. And he's a New York Times bestseller author. And I'm telling you, I can't wait to read. This is going out on my shelf. See, Keisha, you know, you messing up my shelf out there. I know I can't read all those books. I was counting them the other day, and there's over 100 and something books out there, and they, you know, I'm only reading 52. So anyway, this is the book. Let me go back. It's 10:07, and we got 4 people still here. But anyway, this is the Blackout. This is Denise Cooper, and we're going to end this in just a second. But he writes some good nonsense and foolishness. And Keisha's laughing. She says, haha, well, at least it's good nonsense and foolishness, right? Yep, says Kate. And I agree. Yeah, I live in Louisiana. The weather is forever up and down. Yes. And then these days when it snowed, I was like, nope. I know, right? And then I was looking on my online while I was at work on one of my lunch breaks, and the Mardi Gras is coming up, and I always miss it. And my best friend in Florida probably hates me now because we were supposed to go to the Mardi Gras, and then we kind of got scared and chickened out because we kept trying to find rooms and places that we could see online, and they were just, you know, they hike up the prices, and then we were just like, what if I don't know, I think we got kind of spooked out or whatever that we weren't going to be in a place where we could get to all these darn events. And we're just basically going to have to map out where we want to go and stay in that area. Um, since, I mean, you know, crowds of people are going to be down there. So, but I do want to go so bad. And I was looking at pictures online and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to miss it again. But I want to go so bad. Anyway, one year I'm gonna go, and I just need to make some friends. Hi, Keisha, hey, Alan, Janae, so I can stay with somebody, or somebody can go with me because I want to go, but I literally I am a little afraid to go and lose myself and some foolishness. Anyway, and Hold on. Okay. KT says, "What are we going to do without you on the internet for a year?" Girl, I'm gonna be. I'm going to. I think I'm going to get a lot done, and I think it's going to be a way to reach people in a different way. I'm going to go back. I just want to capture, number one, some of my time back because I am really bad, as you can probably tell, KT. Because when every time I get your tweet, I mean, I could probably look at my phone and see everything that you done tweet because I get it. I don't know how that happened. Maybe it's because, and you know how the internet does, if you're constantly talking to somebody or liking something of that person's, then you get their notifications. So I get all of your notifications, and then I'm sitting up there watching the videos that you said to watch. I'm like, I'm never going to get a life, I'm never going to get anything done. And that's what it's about. Like, my reading has changed, as you could tell. Keisha just made me take this off the shelf, and I'm going to put it. But that's what it's supposed to do. That's what I love about Booktube. That's what I love about the internet. So don't get me wrong, but I want to take that out because I literally, who doesn't? I know I'm not the only one. Who doesn't sleep with their cell phone? It's plugged in right by my bed, and it's hecka inviting. And I sat there one night, several times. This is not, don't just sit up here and lie, Denise. I've done it a lot. I will watch lock video after lock since I'm locking my hair. Lock, and I've seen these videos. They're nothing new, nothing new. Why am I watching them at 4 o'clock in the morning? Why? Because I can't sleep, because the internet is too darn entertaining. And number one, I got insomnia. I shouldn't be playing with that and feeding into my insomnia. As soon as I pick up my book at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, one page, and I'm out. And then 30 minutes later, I'm up again. But the internet, I could stay up for 2 hours straight. What is it with that? I need to get rid of it for a whole year and do the actual things I want to do. And I'm going to make a lot of videos, but I can't upload them until 2020. Um, Pray that I live through all of this. I'm just saying, you know, if I'm blessed to have life in my lungs and brain, that I can do the things that I want to do. And I do want to use that year to actually do what I just said about the part that I am not good at, art-wise, and that's filling out the application, submitting the pictures, and getting the website up. Because I keep saying, I'm going to get a website up, I'm going to get it, but I don't. And then because, oh, I got to make the product, I got to make the product. The thing is, I'm in love with making the product, but then not taking pictures of it and doing all the other side of it. So one whole year of stop making videos that are so contagiously fun to do, and forcing myself to do the work. Because when I'm at my job, I force myself to go because I really don't want to go, but I love, you know, having a room that I can come home and sleep in my own bed and turn lights on and stuff. But you know what I'm saying. So if I could do that 40 hours a week there, I want to commit also a lot more time and alleviate that exciting draw that I have, that the internet does to everybody. So I got to cut that out and just exercise some restraint and get more things done so that I actually can have some content to share with you. Okay, so um, I'm sure BookTube will still be here and things will change. Hi, Comfy Cozy Up. Hi, guys. She says, I'm late. Hi. And Keisha Forsaken says, one of my friends got a treadmill, though, so I think I'll just be popping up on her house when it gets really hot outside. I'd rather the cold to walk in, but not snow. Exactly. Cold that's going too far for me. I hear you, Keisha. Ain't nobody trying to walk in no snow. Okay. Um, but you know what? I read, this is years ago, that like when you, like joggers who, you know, you see those committed joggers and runners out there running in the cold weather, they say you burn more calories when you're walking or jogging in the cold. I'm not going to test that theory though. I mean, I thought about, I mean, there are some times where it's kind of crisp and I can get out there and do that, but I'm not doing extreme hot 115-degree weather. So in the summer, I go really early, or you know, in the winter, it's just, I lose, you know, just kind of hibernate. And I just want to sit up there and eat and read books and, you know, that kind of thing and gain a whole bunch of weight. But you know how it is. What are we going to do with you? Okay, I read that. Y'all are going to have fun. And y'all can be like, remember Denise when she used to have a booktube channel and we used to go and and it's only been a year. But seriously, I would it's not like I can watch you guys either. I'm not going to be on the internet at all. And so I hope you guys have the most wonderful 2019 and read a lot and do a lot of crocheting and watch your grandbabies grow and, you know, figure out maybe something that you want to challenge yourself with, and I'll find out about it in 2020. So, I don't know. It's just, it's fun to do that. And I wish I would have done the things that I like to do now, like years ago when I was younger. But then again, I didn't have time to do all of that because, you're taking care of kids and husbands and all that stuff. So anyway, um, let me see what else she says. Oh, she said, I get it. Sometimes I be reading a book like I'm that nosy neighbor who's always looking out the window. Exactly. And that's a fun, good book when it does that. It makes you feel like that. Like you're peeping in on this like I felt like that with Bedrock Faith. The whole community was nosy. Oh my God, it was so nosy behind people. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to read Tar Baby with everybody on Read So Lit, and the photo challenge that's coming up that Dee Dee has on Instagram and Twitter. I can't wait for that because everybody takes so many beautiful pictures, and my pictures just be like, I'll be trying, but I ain't got the white sheet. I got black sheets. Anyway, I have the First Lady autographed. Girl, what? I have the First Lady autograph. Girl went to a Springs event to see Carl. He was pretty funny in person. Okay, thank you. We're talking about the book. When you said the First Lady, and we're talking about the First Lady, this church, this book, this Carl Weber, I thought you were talking about Michelle Obama for a minute. You see how I grabbed my imaginary pearls? Um, oh my goodness. I would have been like, send me a copy of it. Keisha for a second says, I usually stay home for Mardi Gras. For real, have you ever gone? Ain't nobody got time for that. She talking about hashtag, ain't nobody got time for that. But I live in a small town and they usually have two parades. I like the one for the kids better because the adult one is just drunk people and drunk horses. Horses? Horses? Okay, and then she says drunk horses. Laugh out loud, says Kay. I used to read way more books before the internet was a thing. Exactly. Like I remember seeing like on Goodreads, like this person had read this is how many books. I'm like, how y'all finding time to read all these books? And then I was thinking one time I was telling DJ, my son, this is when we first moved here because he was raised in Florida. So when we moved here, his senior year, he went to the 10th and 11th grade here, but he wanted to go back to Florida to finish his high school senior year with his Florida friends that he grew up with and went to school with. So he did. So a year I was here. Of course, I wasn't by myself because my other kids are here too. But I was by myself at the same token. So I was working and going. I was taking some college courses. I was staying up till 4 o'clock in the morning, painting a lot. I did a lot more art shows, and I lived at the library. And I literally thought about that. This is what I used to do like when my kids were at school and I was at work, or when I was working odd hours and whatever. And I'd go get a whole bunch of library books and I'd read. And I thought, I read more then than I do now. Now it's like 65 books last year for me. I was like, at the end, you guys saw me. I was at the end trying to make sure I made my 65 because I was like, this feels weird. Something's going on here. But of course, I already knew that coming in. Like the first year of Booktube, I was like, whoa, my reading is like so bad now. And, people watching Booktube could think, sometimes, oh gosh, you read so many books. No, my reading has slowed down. It actually, I could have finished this book literally as much as I've been talking. I could have finished this book tonight, and I was literally smiling right before I go. Oh, I got to push the button and go on. Not that I don't like to, but you know what I'm saying. And I could have been doing a review on the book right now, but no, we got to do Booktube. We got to do anything else. We ain't got to, because next year I ain't on nothing. But anyway, I'm gonna have a good time, and I hope you guys are still around and befriending me in 2020. I just think that's a perfect year to come back. And so I'm still laughing at the drunk horses too, Kay. We're just going to miss you while you're gone. Thank you, KT. I appreciate that. I think that I need it, and I want to miss I want to miss something. I want to, not that I mean, that sounds weird to say, but I do want to miss something so that all the things that I'm doing now, um, I can get all those other things done. Like I've already trying to explain, but it's just kind of hard for me to word. But I look forward to not being involved in this medium so that I can get this other stuff taken care of. Something that is, if it's so near and dear to my heart and I love doing it more than anything, then why am I not doing it properly? Why did I add this other element in? Which this other element to me is like a very artsy thing to do, especially when I used to do the characters on this booktube channel. To me, that I found another way to do my art, and it was performance art. And even though it was kooky corny to you guys, or some of y'all enjoyed it, like Kathleen Ann, she just gave me, the most wonderful compliments. She's like, you are just too good, you need to be on TV. But I am too nervous to go out and audition and be an actress for anybody. I have stage fright. I can do this in my house, okay? Or that kind of a thing. So I'm not going to ever do that. I tried to challenge myself to do that one time, but I'm not going to do it. It's not for me. I'd rather paint. I could paint in front of a million people because my back is turned to them, but I don't want to turn around and say a dang thing. So, and this is more protective. And even still, I mean, goodness, you guys, I play the Johnny to calm down. So I'm not that type of person. So anyway, Keisha Forsaken says, yes, drunk horses. Some cousins come down to visit, and they I'm sorry, and they were like, this is a mess. I bet it is, but I just want to see it one time. Actually, I want to go to the Essence Festival more than I want to go to Mardi Gras, because I heard Mardi Gras gets a little wild. But I do want to see some of the live concerts, because that's another thing I want to do next year, is to get out more and go back to all the music shows that I used to go to. Like, why don't I do that anymore? So I want to do that. And let me read. I don't watch a lot of TV. It says comfy cozy up, so I think that helps with my reading time. Exactly. I like I don't have cable, and we watch what we want to watch when we want to watch it. We watch Hulu and Netflix and YouTube, and those are like I had like our TV is off even right now. The TV has not been on all day because DJ's on his computer. He usually makes music. I do this. We're reading. He's reading or whatever. And the TV, like literally, I just bought that TV last year. Like we didn't even have a TV in the living room, and he has a little TV in his bedroom that he plays video games on. And I haven't seen that child turn that game on and I don't know how long, because you can do it on the computer or whatever, and we're just, we can go days and days on days on end. But I do like my shows to get caught up. Like I watch Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder, and I love The Crown on Netflix. But the thing is, I could just like binge watch it in one day, and like watch maybe 3 or 4. Like I even started over watching Spike Lee's She's Gotta Have It. I watched the whole series, right? And it's so good. Like I didn't want to thumb through all that new stuff that's on this. There's so much out there. There's so much you can watch. And I was like, look, I love Spike Lee. I like the way he directs. I like that show. Let me just watch that while I'm eating dinner. I watched the show. I went back to episode 1, and I love it. It's like watching a little mini movie. And then I forget a show exists, like The Crown. Even though I say I loved it, I haven't watched it in a while. But when I watch it, it's like so darn good. And then, I don't know, months could go by before I watched it again. And so I like that. I like that way it is now, with where you can just watch it when you want, and you don't have to have cable TV and sit there. I hate commercials, and Hulu has commercials, but I'm watching How to Get Away with Murder. Ain't nobody gonna stop me from that. It's Scandal. And Scandal's on this last season. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I am finished here for the night. It's an hour and 23 minutes. See what y'all do? See? I'm getting books, adding them to my shelf. I got to take this out there tonight and put it on the book shelf for the blackout. Carl Weber, Up to No Good. Thanks, Keisha Versagen. Thanks, KT. Thanks, Kid Danae. Thanks, Angela. Thanks, Denise Rader. Thanks, Comfy Cozy Up, CC, whose name is it Petra? I'm sorry. I learn your names. I call you, whatever Todd, the librarian, calls you, because when I go watch your videos, he's always already have commented on there. And I watched your video today with where you did the yeah, it was like a out of your genre book, and he read the book that KT read. That she said was Stay With Me. Oh, I didn't get to finish it before the new year because I couldn't read it for the blackout because it's not African American, and I had checked it out at the library last year, but I ran out of time, and oh my God, I can't wait to read it next year. So I watched your video today, and then I'm going to watch Todd's later because I'm going to finish this book tonight. So I'll watch Todd because Todd cracks me up, cracking open that Coors Miller and talking about his wife in the other room. She just needs to make a little a visit. Just walk across the set so we can see Todd's wife and tell her hi. But I really enjoyed your review of that book because it does it. That's what I love about Booktube. That also is like hard because now I want to read that book. Like I don't read a lot of fantasy or magical realism, even though I've got Octavia Butler and Tananarive Due, and just a few, but not a lot. I've got even Tad Williams, who's like that's a big old book, but it's out of order, and I haven't read that because it was at a library sale. It was like 25 cents or something. And this guy stood there, another book lover, stood there in the store talking to me about this Tad Williams and George R. R. Martin. And, they know each other and how big these books are. And he just went off and telling me this huge story. Oh, and you're going to love it and blah, blah, blah. And I end up buying one. Then I go, this is a series. It's not even number one, the first of the series. So I got stuck with a book that I'm going to have to buy other books just to get that. But not this year. Anyways, but I am interested in it more so now than ever. Like, and then, listening to more people like Toddy's, the books that she reads in Nigeria, and then your review today. So it opens up your mind to go ahead more, because reading Octavia Butler doesn't seem like sci-fi. She is so good that it's so real. She's just prolific as heck. Something about her writing style. It may be sci-fi or it's called sci-fi or whatever, but that's not what I had in my head for sci-fi, if you know what I'm talking about. So that's it, you guys. It's an hour and 26 minutes and ain't nobody trying to watch this video back. But if you have not, or if you joined late and you are watching and not commenting, please do watch the rest of the recording. And I am going to say good night. Good night, Rebecca. Good night. Good night, Denise Rader. Good night, Keisha Forsaken, Angela D, KT, and I just said Rebecca, and Comfy Cozy. I'm just scrolling down, see if I missed anybody. And it is Saturday night. I hope everybody is out having a good time. And if you watch the video back, hello, Nicole. Hello, Musical Toddy. Hello, Dee Dee. Hello, Deirdre. Hello, Freeform Lady. Hello, you guys. And hello, Karen Runright Reads. Hello, Yamini, who I missed on the tail end of the last Saturday. I think as soon as she commented, I was like turning off live. I was like, ah. So hi, Yamini, if you watch this back. And if you haven't visited her Goodreads, she does Tells and Co. And I really enjoyed the unit that I read with her. And they're on to other women books and different all around the world, it seems like. It's just awesome. Very interesting book club to be a part of. And Todd is funny, says Comfy Cozy Up. Peta. I was going to call you Petra because of Lady Saw and Petra and all, you know what I'm talking about. But Peta like the bread. Peta like the, oh, I'm sorry. Peta like the bread. P-E-T-A, is that correct? And Todd is funny and his beard. Good night, everybody. Good night. I appreciate you guys. This is Denise Cooper. This has been Booktube Live and the Blackout Year in all African American books. And I'm going to finish up the cartel. And then tomorrow, after taking my grandkids to the museum and getting some an art injection into our little lives, I'm going to come home and finish this painting because I'm pretty much done. I just got to go in with the black and white and juicy, juicy, juicy. Enjoy it, Rebecca. I enjoyed that you are reading this on the other side, wherever you are. Goodbye, you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. And we are done. And thank you so much for being here. Thanks for taking your time out. Really, you guys know I appreciate you always.